Hey everyone, welcome to the review. Here's my review for the movie Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. And yes, this movie stars Asa Butterfield, Allison and Janney, Eva Green, Samuel Jackson, and Terence Stamp. And this movie is directed by the one and only Tim Burton. You all know who he is. He gave us movies like Beetlejuice, Ed Wood, Batman, Batman Returns, Sleepy Hollow, Sweeney Todd. He also gave us monstrosities like Alice in Wonderland and Dark Shadows. Yeah, yes, I know there was actually a fan base for his movie 2 years ago, Big Eyes. I was even a fan of that movie, but other than Big Eyes, Tim Burton hasn't made a good movie in quite some time, since, like, Sweeney Todd. So, really hoping for Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I was hoping this movie would bring Tim Burton back into the great Tim Burton films, like another Ed Wood or Edward Scissorhands or Beetlejuice. Something strange and bizarre and visually stunning and so creative, something unique, something very Burton-esque. And yes, did I get that from this movie? Yes and no. The movie Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children is on the highest scale of okay. Yeah, the movie's okay. It's not great, it's not bad. It's an enjoyable film, and I think actually a lot of families will actually enjoy it. It's a good kids movie, it's a good family movie, but it's also a good movie for people who are a fan of the source material. I have never personally read these books. There's like 3 books or something, and I have never read the books. I'm not familiar with the story, but again, the trailer sold me, and it's Tim Burton, and has a very good cast. I love Asa Butterfield, Eva Green, Allison Janney, Sam Jackson. I'm a fan of these actors. I'm a fan of Tim Burton, and I was very interested in seeing a movie that's like Tim Burton's X-Men, because that's what this movie is. It's like X-Men meets Harry Potter, and yeah, the story takes place in a different time period, and it's about a kid who has these weird gifts and stuff. Then he finds this school run by Miss Peregrine, and it's full of gifted students and stuff, and yeah, it's basically the gist of like Harry Potter and X-Men. And again, I don't want to spoil the third act, because honestly, the third act of the movie is the best part. It's when it gets crazy and nuts and weird and campy, like a Tim Burton movie and stuff. And honestly, the stuff that really bothered me. Like, this movie is filled with exposition. Like, this entire movie, well, most of the first half of the movie is explaining things. And I get you're trying to explain it to your audience, so the audience members, us as the audience, knows about the characters, the story, the plot, and everything, and what's about to happen. But honestly, we're smart people, kids are smart people. You don't need all this exposition to get us into the story, to set the tone, to get us to know the characters. Once you just show us. Don't tell, show. That's the beauty about Harry Potter. Harry Potter didn't have a bunch of exposition. No, it just showed us the magical world of Hogwarts. It showed us the magical world. It showed us Diagon Alley. It showed us the characters. It didn't just explain things. It explained a little bit. Stuff that would be too complicated just to show, so they just explained it. But Harry Potter's not all exposition. It's a lot of showing. But this movie is heavy on exposition, and it's just downright annoying. It ruined a lot of the movie for me. And yeah, I don't like when movies are all exposition. In this movie, for the first half of it, is all exposition. And the movie focuses way too much on the uninteresting characters. Like, Asa Butterfield is a good actor. I'm a big fan of him, but my God, he is so bland and so uninteresting in this movie, and they focus too much about him. And he's such an uninteresting character and a very poorly written character. Asa Butterfield is trying, but his performance is so bland, his character is so poorly written. I just couldn't care about his character. And the peculiar children, they focus on the kids that aren't interesting. All the kids that are interesting, they barely get any screen time, which sucks. But luckily, Miss Peregrine herself, played by Eva Green, is fantastic. She is so good, she's so charming, she's so likable. And thank God she's in the movie enough, so yeah, she's a great character. Another great character is Samuel Jackson as the villain. He's this very evil, sadistic, very silly, over-the-top villain, like a Tim Burton villain, and again, I wish he had more screen time, because he was great and entertaining to watch and stuff. Same with Judi Dench. I wish they had more screen time, but yeah, we got the boring characters, awesome. But yeah, again, this is a Tim Burton movie, so it's a very beautiful looking movie. The cinematography, the visual effects, all look fantastic. And the third act is so freaking good and so freaking entertaining and so dark and disturbing and unsettling and very campy, very over the top, like a Tim Burton movie. The third act of the movie is what I wanted throughout the whole movie, but most of the movie is explaining, getting to know these people, getting to know the school, and all that stuff, and explaining, and that's what really dragged this movie down, was the exposition and the very uninteresting characters. But the movie is still a well-directed movie. Tim Burton is a fantastic director, and he directed the movie very well. He directed the actors properly, and the source material that he had, he directed it fine. It's beautiful looking, the visuals are fantastic, the cinematography is great, and the interesting characters that are in the movie are really interesting. Like, I like Eva Green, I like Samuel Jackson, and Judi Dench, and some of these weird kid characters. They were interesting, and the movie just set up like there is going to be more movies, and I am interested seeing where the story goes, and all these characters and stuff, and what's gonna happen and stuff, but all in all, the movie was just okay. There's so much that they could have explored, but they didn't. There's so many characters they could have talked about that seemed really cool, but they didn't touch on that at all. They focused too much on the boring characters, and that's what really dragged the movie down, and it was kind of a waste of Asa Butterfield and his talent, because he's a great actor, but he was so bland and boring in this movie that really pissed me off. But all in all, the movie's fine. I think a lot of family members and young adults, because it's a YA novel, I think a lot of young adults will really enjoy this movie and have fun with it. For me, I just thought it was okay. I still enjoyed it, I was entertained by it, but it's not a movie I would see again. It's definitely not one of Tim Burton's best, so I'd recommend it for some people, maybe not for everyone. If you're sick of the YA movies, then definitely skip this movie. So yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give the movie Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children a 6.5 out of 10. So yeah, check this movie out if you want to. So yeah, that was my review for the movie Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. So in the comment section below, please tell me what is your favorite Tim Burton movie. My favorite is Ed Wood, but what is your favorite? Comment below. Let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like subscribe to this channel and join the ducks.